Jayson Tatum has proved he is an elite player in his 7 years in the league, making 5 appearances in the Eastern Conference Finals already. Now set to make his second NBA Finals appearance, winning a championship will solidify his status as one of the best players in the league and quiet down all the hate. He's already become a 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA player, and already has a career rich in postseason success. However, back in 2017, Tatum was overlooked by 2 teams, being selected 3rd overall. But why was he not taken with the first 2 picks, and who was drafted before and after Jayson Tatum? Welcome to Sportsphere. Let's get into it. The draft began with Washington guard Markelle Fultz, who was selected by the Philadelphia 76ers after trading up with Boston with the 3rd pick. Seen as the future of the organization, Fultz faced a shoulder injury early in his career, taking the NBA by storm, but not in a good way, as it seemed like he forgot how to shoot entirely. Despite bust allegations, Fultz has now rebuilt into a solid role player for the Orlando Magic, although a knee injury has put him out for a significant time in the recent season. Regardless, Fultz hasn't lived up to expectations as a first pick in his career so far. The oldest Ball brother was selected 2nd overall by the LA Lakers, and despite quickly showcasing elite passing and defending ability, but Lonzo initially struggled with 3-point shooting and finishing. This saw him soon traded away in the deal for Anthony Davis, which saw him in New Orleans, where he completely revamped his shooting form and turned into a good 3-point shooter. However, lingering knee and ankle injuries meant his good play would often be interrupted. He was soon traded to the Bulls, and his game continued to improve. However, a significant knee injury meant we haven't seen Ball on an NBA court since January 2022. When he is on the court, Lonzo has shown he can be an elite-level distributor, great 3-point shooter, and good on-ball defender. Lonzo is set to return in the upcoming season, and we hope he can make a successful return. As for the 3rd pick, Jayson Tatum, prior to the 2017 draft, the Celtics would make a deal, trading their 1st pick to the 76ers for the 3rd pick among other assets. And with the newly acquired pick, they selected Markelle Fultz, who's become an injury-prone role player, while the 2nd pick by the Lakers saw them draft an also injury-prone Lonzo Ball. As for the 3rd pick, the Boston Celtics selected Jayson Tatum with their newly acquired draft selection. What a move by Danny Ainge and the Celtics. After Tatum, the highest picked player in this draft class, who is currently without a team, was selected, Josh Jackson. Jackson played just 2 seasons with the Phoenix Suns before being traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. Jackson played a few years in the G League, but that was not enough to save his career, as Jackson has been without a team since January 2023. One of the main reasons why the Sacramento Kings have ascended to a decent team in the last couple of years is due to the rise of De'Aaron Fox. The 5th overall pick has excelled over the last few years as a consistent 25-point-per-game scorer who doesn't shy away from big moments. A great pickup by the Kings, and he finally has some help around him, but the only thing he's missing is playoff success. Lengthy forward Jonathan Isaac was selected 6th overall, but his time in the NBA has not been great. A great defensive big man, Isaac tore his ACL in 2020 and did not play again in the league until January 2023, but he would make a comeback in the 2023-24 season, putting together his most efficient season on 16 minutes a game. So let's see if Isaac can continue to be healthy and become a solid role player. Lauri Markkanen was selected next by the Bulls, and after 5 years of inconsistency in Chicago, the 2022-23 season was a brilliant one for Lauri with the Utah Jazz. He became an All-Star for the first time, as well as the most improved player in the NBA. A rangy shooter who averaged 23 points per game this season and 26 points last season, Markkanen is finally proving to live up to his high potential, although he may need a change of scenery to strive in playoffs, but nevertheless, his comeback has been very impressive so far. The Knicks picked French point guard Frank Ntilikina 8th overall. In his 6 seasons in the league, Ntilikina has failed to average more than 7 points per game across a season. Now, with the Charlotte Hornets, Ntilikina seems to have hit his peak as a backup point guard, but may not be in the league for a whole lot longer. Another point guard who has not lived up to potential. Fans would be surprised to hear that Smith's best season was his rookie year, where he averaged 15.2 points per game. But he was soon hit pretty hard with an injury, killing any momentum he had. Since then, his offensive game proved not to be a strong suit, and now with his 6th different team in 6 years. That being said, Smith's recent season with the Brooklyn Nets and previous season with the Hornets has seen him revive his career as a Russell Westbrook gritty guard that can distribute and crash boards despite offensive limitations. Gonzaga big man Zach Collins went 10th overall to the Portland Trail Blazers. Hoping to be the front court hero who could help Dame Lillard win big, Collins made some defensive impact, but lingering injuries put him out for significant time. After his recent move to the San Antonio Spurs, he has been very solid in a rotation role alongside Wembanyama, signing a big money extension with the team in October 2023. Kentucky guard Malik Monk went 11th overall in the draft. Despite being a lottery pick, Monk only ever started once for the Hornets, coming off the bench for 4 straight seasons. Although showing signs of a good scorer, the Hornets would soon let go of him, with some off-the-court issues also playing a factor in this decision. He was soon traded to the Lakers, and after a single season where he was occasionally in the Lakers' starting lineup, Monk was traded to the Sacramento Kings and has excelled as an efficient scorer and playmaker in the Kings rotation, also a finalist of the 6th Man of the Year award this season. The Pistons went with Luke Kennard 12th overall. He struggled to find consistent form in the NBA with the Pistons, missing chunks of time due to injury. Having been traded to the Clippers, Kennard became one of the best three-point shooters in the league. He has led the league in three-point shooting percentage the last 2 seasons, and is now part of the backcourt rotation of the Memphis Grizzlies despite recently dealing with an injury. Originally picked by the Denver Nuggets, the Utah Jazz traded for Donovan Mitchell on draft day, and he hit the ground running from day one, and has averaged more than 20 points per game across every season of his career, now having averaged almost 27 points per game in his 7th NBA season. Mitchell is a 4-time NBA All-Star who is now part of an exciting young roster with the Cavs, although he may be traded very soon. The 14th overall pick in 2017 was Miami Heat star Bam Adebayo. With the Kentucky big man has carving out a very nice career for himself despite being an undersized center. A 2-time All-Star and 4-time All-Defensive second-team member, Bam is one of the best defensive players in the league. He's also an Olympic gold medalist and part of the Heat teams that reached the NBA Finals in 2020 and 2023. Another rangy forward, Justin Jackson, has not been brilliant in the NBA. He has played for 6 different NBA teams across his career, having not been able to impress as a starter with the Sacramento Kings in his rookie season. Jackson has barely played in the league over the last couple of years, playing the majority of his basketball in the G League. Jackson is still an NBA champion as part of the Milwaukee Bucks, which means when he does retire, he will still have a ring on his finger. The Minnesota Timberwolves certainly regret trading for Justin Patton on draft night. He was part of the deal that sent Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves. But in Minnesota, Patton suffered repeated foot injuries to both of his feet. He barely played for the Timberwolves and began to bounce around the league. Never able to consistently stay healthy, Patton has not played in the NBA since 2020. There's no doubt that 22 games in the league is very disappointing for a first-round pick. The Milwaukee Bucks selected Michigan forward DJ Wilson 17th overall. He played the majority of his rookie season with the team's G League affiliate, but was still signed to a 3rd-year option. Traded away by the Bucks in 2020, Wilson had a couple of very short stints with the Rockets and the Raptors. He is now playing in the G League with the Osceola Magic. It was UCLA forward TJ Leaf who was selected 18th overall. Leaf got a lot more opportunities in the NBA than you might expect, becoming part of the Pacers' bench rotation through his first couple of seasons. But after he failed to improve, Leaf was waived by the Pacers. After a short stint with the Blazers, Leaf is now playing in China with the Beijing Ducks. John Collins was selected 19th overall and became the 3rd power forward selected in a row. The Atlanta Hawks were thrilled with this pick as Collins developed into a solid supporting act for Trae Young. A 22-point and 10-rebound per game season in 2019-20 showed the promise of Collins. But his numbers have gone in the wrong direction the last couple of seasons despite no major injuries. Now with the Utah Jazz, Collins is still a good NBA player, but has plenty of room to develop. The 3rd Duke player selected in the 2017 NBA draft, Giles has really struggled to stay healthy in the league. He has had multiple seasons shut down due to injury, putting up some good numbers when he does get a chance in the league. The issue for Giles is that he missed 2 full seasons in the league, instead playing in the G League, where he again suffered a season-ending injury. Currently with the LA Lakers, Giles has found himself back on an NBA roster despite barely getting playing time. Another prospect of this 2017 draft class who is no longer in the league, Terrence Ferguson has not lived up to potential. Having gone over to Australia to play professionally instead of going to college, Ferguson has struggled to improve in the NBA. Through 3 seasons with the Thunder, he did have 1 year as a full starter, but put up just 6.9 points per game on 43% shooting from the field. Having last played in the NBA in 2021, Ferguson is currently playing with South African club Cape Town Tigers after stints in the G League, Greece, and Poland. The 22nd pick, Jarrett Allen has succeeded so far in the league, despite many big men selected before him. Having impressed as the full-time starter with the Brooklyn Nets, Allen has now developed into an all-star level player since being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. A top shot blocker in the league, Allen is part of a talented Cavs roster, featuring fellow 2017 draft pick Donovan Mitchell. One of the few players in this draft class who is an NBA champion, there might not be a better all-round defender from the 2017 draft class than OG Anunoby. A starter for the Raptors the past few years, Anunoby led the league in steals last season while putting up 17 points per game. Now, on the New York Knicks, Anunoby has proved to be a perfect fit. And although the playoffs didn't exactly go to plan with injuries, the Knicks can still make waves in the East in the following years. Taken 24th overall, Syracuse power forward Tyler Lydon was part of the deal for Donovan Mitchell sending him to Denver. With the Nuggets, Lydon played just 26 games and barely featured. Having retired from basketball in 2021, the Nuggets will certainly regret choosing Lydon over Mitchell. Latvian 7-footer was selected 25th overall by the Orlando Magic before being traded to the Sixers. He never played a single minute for the Sixers as he stayed in Europe after being drafted. A short 2-year stint with the Washington Wizards is the only action Psekniks saw. He is back in Europe at the moment, playing for Real Betis. Despite earning All-Summer League first-team honors in his rookie season, Caleb Swanigan played just 75 games in the NBA. He was part of the Blazers rotation for a couple of years, also spending some time in the G League. After his NBA career fell apart, Swanigan sadly passed away from natural causes in June 2022. Utah forward Kyle Kuzma was traded to the LA Lakers on draft day, where he used his frame and impressive scoring to become an important player for the Lakers. Relegated to the bench for 2019-2020, Kuzma ended that season as a champion. The proficient forward has rebuilt his career after a difficult end to his time with the Lakers. Now a 22-point-per-game scorer, Kuzma has been better, however proved he may need to be a role player to find playoff success. With the 28th pick, Tony Bradley would be selected. He barely featured for the Utah Jazz while in the G League, being traded after his first full season in the rotation. After bouncing around the league, Bradley is now back in the G League with the Texas Legends, alongside fellow 2017 draftee Justin Jackson. Derek White was selected as the 29th overall pick by the San Antonio Spurs, known for their high-level recruiting throughout history, and he would indeed develop into a well-rounded player. And fast forward to today, Derek White has emerged as a top defensive guard in the NBA and is making significant offensive contributions on one of the best teams in the league, the Celtics. With the final pick of the 2017 NBA Draft first round, Josh Hart was taken 30th overall by the Lakers and has now proved to be one of the best rebounding guards in the entire league. He's so far spent time on the Lakers, Pelicans, Trailblazers, and now Knicks. Josh Hart has grown to be an excellent role player for any NBA team. As for the second round of the 2017 draft, there were very few noteworthy mentions, with Dillon Brooks and Isaiah Hartenstein being the most significant draftees. Anyways, that's it for today's video, the players drafted before and after Jayson Tatum. Please give us your top 5 players of this draft class in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching SportsSphere. Until next time.